Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Spoilers. Obviously, I am.
Spoilers, obviously.
I'm your host Joel, and with us, Moses Moon.
Hey, that's me.
What's up, man? It's been a long time.
Oh man, glad to be back, getting into it. Lots of good times all around, more or less. But it's just fun, We're back. It's
Yeah.
spoilers, obviously. I mean, spoilers. We're here. We're still alive.
So to the audience, if we still have any, um, last
Yeah.
episode we talked about was episode 55, which was Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves,
Wow,
which
that was a
was
long time ago.
yeah, that was the last time we talked.
Still a
Uh,
great movie.
and that was April 22nd, 2023. So that
Wow.
that was the last time we talked, and just gonna like clear the air what happened in the past year.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm gonna Moses, do you want to go first and about your life, and then I'll go on about my life,
I
or
think it's more important because you start
oh, okay,
because the audience wants to know because this is your show. So
is
what
it?
happened, man? What? Yeah, it is. I'm just a guest.
Okay, so I, my wife, my son, my wife, my family, anyways,
Mm,
we moved to the U.S. And before we moved to the US, I had to work many, many hours to make sure I have the money and to close all my debts and sell whatever I can sell. So I had less time. I was less available. I work back in Israel. I would work 12 hours every day from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every single day. I
just not worth it.
it was too much on me. And and not only that, preparing everything to move to America, it was a lot, and I had to step back a little bit. And then finally, I did move to America around June, July, somewhere over there. And then, getting my life back together, which took a while.
Yeah,
Uh, to move into the apartment and then finding a job, getting used to the job and getting my own routine and getting used to the routine and all that. So it definitely took a while, longer than I expected. What was it? Almost a year. It's it's been almost a
it's a
year,
long time. It's
basically.
yeah, just under, just slightly under.
Yeah, 11 months and like what, 2 weeks, more or less.
I mean, hey, if you want to be that accurate, sure, why not? But
Yeah,
it's not a bad thing. You need to get your life in order. You got to get your ducks in a row. And sometimes, little passion projects slash little things like this gotta take a little break, and that's all right.
yeah. So that's more or less my what happened with me for the past year and why
Mm.
I have been gone. Yeah. Well, what about you, Moses?
I mean, I've been gone because you've been gone, and I haven't been on the show because the show was on hiatus for
Well,
a year.
fine, blame me.
But my year has been pretty productive. I was doing my radio show, and I was doing work outside of the country, which was really nice to. I actually even had a nice setup. I have my laptop and could bring my microphone with me, so I was like portable,
Nice.
which was really really cool. The what do they call that? The techno hermit style? I don't know.
Hmm.
So I was like getting into that, and then I came back after a bit of travel, and then war happened.
Well, yeah,
I'm
what did
still,
happen?
or it's still happening. I was called in, so I definitely was not available for any little shows. And then after a good chunk of time, I was finally released from that uh, part of my duty until further notice, more or less. And now I'm just back to hashigra, the routine of life, and kind of in limbo. Will they? Won't they? You know, just it, classic movie scenario. Man caught between, you know, war and life, I guess, because that's really common.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I'm really glad we got to finally arrange this. It's been a while. I've missed you, and it's just fun to be back on the air. Because on another note, while I was away, the radio show got canceled because I wasn't producing anything anymore, and there wasn't
Really.
much I could do. They said they'd play reruns, which I gave them permission for, but there's nothing I could do about that,
And
which is fine.
and what about like okay, you're back in civilian life, they're not.
Right, so I'm back, but because there wasn't a draw from that anymore because they couldn't, I wasn't doing anything. They had to cancel it, and I wasn't gonna be able to do Reforge Radio from Gaza. Like that just I don't have time for that. It definitely would have made the war a lot more interesting, that's for sure. But in particular, yeah, so that got cut down. However, um, I've been taking this time to focus my thoughts and channel them into writing a book, a memoir on what I've currently gone through. And I do intend on making that into a published reality. And
Nice.
then I'm also pursuing audio projects on my own. So audio voice work or, my own projects of like audiobooks. I have one chapter of C.S. Lewis's The Horse and His Boy out.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
so
The
that's hmm?
is C.S. Lewis, that's Narnia, right?
Narnia. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I've read
So,
all the books as well.
well, if you want the first chapter, I'm happy to send you that as a little promo.
Nice.
Um, however, yeah. So just again, kind of, it's hard to get back into projects knowing that like at any second I'm just be called back in.
Mm.
However, all my desktop arrangements and computer programs are primed and ready to go for these projects, and I'm really excited about them. So that's more or less my focus these days.
That's awesome. I'm happy for you. It sucks about the video, but I'm glad to know that you still find yourself occupied to do other projects that you love.
Hey, it is what it is, and it was a great experience. I had a lot of fun with it, and again, like it was another avenue of life that showed me like, hey, these are things that I love to do, and I would
Mhm.
love to do them again.
That's awesome. Yeah, so with like we said, it's been a while. It's been a year
It's
since
been
we
a year.
yeah. Since also you were called to the army to war, and now you're back in civilian life, and you said you might be called back, like at
No.
any time. So we all back 100%, but also not 100% because if Moses is called back, obviously we can't produce any episodes. So until then, we all back 100%. We are going to try to release an episode once a week, every what is it? Sunday? Not Sunday, every Thursday.
Thursday was the
Thursday.
schedule. Yeah.
Thursday, yeah, in Israel it's Thursday morning. Here in the US it's like Wednesday 10 p.m. So every Wednesday like 10 p.m.
Hey, why not?
Yeah. So that's a plan just to keep you guys all back in check to remember our schedules. Um so at the moment when we are recording this episode, the Oscars is about to happen today.
Yeah.
Much later today.
Okay.
S-
The current update from 10 minutes ago. Will Oppenheimer triumph? Will Ryan Gosling really sing alongside 65 cans? We're here all night to bring you the latest from Hollywood.
So okay, so
That's from The Guardian.
exactly. Okay, so that's what I want to talk about, the Oscars. The Oscars, obviously, we haven't seen it yet, so we don't know the results. Best movie, best actor, we don't know. But we can talk about our best movies and best TV shows and
Yeah.
actors and all that. And whenever the results for the Oscars will come out, so on next episode we will probably mention it.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know if you have any 2023 movie list in your head or on your phone or whatever or on your computer that you have of in your opinion, best movie, best TV show, worst movie, worst TV show.
Hmm.
what did you watch? What you didn't watch? What you enjoyed?
Oh, it's difficult because it's kind of all of a blur between like, oh, is this 2024 and is what is 2023? Like the last thing like prior to the war was I did a literally the last like bit of media that I consumed was a marathon of Mission Impossible so that I could
Nice.
watch the last one which is a two-parter. And so when I finally got to finish it, I was really impressed just in general with Mission Impossible as a whole. It's a stunning journey through not only the growth of a story and plot and characters on a narrative level, but also just on similar to James Bond, how it's like a pluck and pull of history. There's something interesting between like a compare and contrast. And one thing that I think about uh, Mission Impossible, not that it's not dated, there's definitely like use of technology where you're like, oh, that's definitely older. But in the later ones, you get a feeling of timelessness where they don't focus on like tech that's like, oh, that's a cell phone from this era. This it's like just tech and things of that nature, or even clothing that isn't like, oh, that's so 90s, that's so this and that.
Mhm.
Um, but it's interesting to see them develop and mature into that. And Tom Cruise friggin' is an incredible person. Wasn't also uh oh, didn't he also release the other movie that year of Top Gun? Top Gun 2?
The Top Gun
Or was that
Maverick.
20 or was that 2022?
I think. God, I need to check that. I
Because
think
if
it.
I recall, 2023 had some pretty decent fun films. Like,
Yeah. Uh, uh, so for me, yeah, no, Top Gun Maverick is 2022, a year before.
too bad.
Yeah. Um. So yes, for me, Top Gun, not Top Gun. What is it called? Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part One, if I'm not mistaken. That's the name of it.
Mm,
Hey, I watched it in theaters. Totally enjoyed it, and it's like I did not expect how insane the AI was,
mm,
and the thing is, like, we are now in the AI era. So
that's
it's
very
like
true.
it's not that far-fetched, but to see like, yeah, here's an AI basically controlling the world. And it's amazing how if you take all the movies left from the past, for example, Terminator and other movies like that, like, oh, the robots took over and they're killing everyone.
Mm.
AI is basically that, but with not robots, just like, yeah, I'm connected to
I've
the
seen
internet.
so many like sci-fi. Black Mirror does a good job with some of
Black
their
Mirror did
explorations.
an amazing job. Avengers: Age of Ultron is basically the same thing. You have an AI who created himself a body, and then basically ran on a rampage. Um, which is why basically has nothing to do with this year, but next not has nothing to do with last year, 2023, but has to do with this year,
Mm.
2024. Dune, for example, which is why we don't have robots in
Yeah,
in Dune because robots took over and there was a big battle
the
against
war of
robots.
the AI. It's not
It,
just robots; it's AI
it,
specific.
it's AI, yeah, it's robots like men,
Yeah,
you know.
basically, what do you call it? The Terminator, the Skynet.
Yeah. So it was amazing to see how far they were able to take it with Top Gun Maverick
Mm.
and Top Gun Maverick, God damn it, with with
I'll still agree. I'll still agree. You put that, I don't care when that was. Still good.
oh no, Top Gun Maverick was absolutely amazing. But yeah, no, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
I'm
Um,
looking at some of like the releases of like what was on. I saw the Meg 2,
uh,
Cocaine Bear,
okay,
Wonka, Five Nights at
I've
Freddy's,
seen Cocaine Bear. I haven't
The
seen Meg.
Creator.
The creator sounds familiar.
It was really good. That was one that was really in the terms of like in the face of Hollywood because it was made on a really low budget, but it's a really incredible.
Hmm.
production. Basically, another story about AI and
Yeah.
humanity, and basically AI and humanity.
Oh
Similar
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
situations with the like the
Okay. Yeah.
Matrix, and now humanity's like excluded AIs, but AIs
Yeah.
are like robotic, like
Yeah.
almost
Okay. So
cyborg.
okay. I saw that movie in theaters as well, and I absolutely hated it for two
You hated
reasons.
it. All
For
right,
two
hit it. Yeah,
for
yeah.
two reasons why I hated the movie The Creator.
All right,
I
one.
went to see that movie literally 2 days after the war broke out in Israel. So
Oh,
I my mind
stressed.
my mind was not, like, hey, let's go watch him. I felt horrible with myself. I felt guilty. Like, why? Like, my country's at war, and the first thing I do is like, let's go to the theaters and watch a movie. The thing is, I
Mm,
bought the tickets before the war even broke out. So
yeah,
it's not like I was planning on like, oh yeah, there's a war, let's go watch a movie. You
yeah.
know, so that's one. But the entire time I was like, think trying to compare Israel, what's happening in Israel and the movie. It's like these fucking robots are Arabs. Fuck kill them.
that's that's crazy,
Yeah,
dicey.
yeah. Like,
Uh,
and also by the end of the movie, how they're like all happy and like, yeah, no, 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 no. Like, yeah, that just kill these motherfuckers. It's just a kid robot. It's AI. Humanity is more important. Kill this motherfucker. So
I
that
always
that
love
that
seeing where
was
people fall on the side of like AI and humanity. It's because I mean, science fiction in and of itself is it's interesting
yeah.
dilemmas, but yeah, I totally feel you. But continue. Yeah. So, what was the second reason?
No, so yeah, that was my mindset when I went to
Mm,
see the movie. And I wasn't really there. And then the second reason why I didn't like the movie, it's basically like the beginning of Terminator. It's like it's also like Terminator. It's the uh, goddamn Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning. It's fighting AI, seeing the AI trying to fight back. It's like, okay, I've seen this movie already earlier this year. I've seen this
yeah.
movie 30 years ago. So I felt like I've
Hard to
seen the
reskin
ex
the basic principles and make it like significant. I totally get that.
yeah. You know, if uh, if Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning wouldn't have come out, I would have probably liked it more because it's like, okay, when was the last time we had a movie AIs against men? Yeah, The Terminator, basically. A
Mm,
really good movie. But because of Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, and also because the war just broke out like 2 days later, 2 days before, sorry. So I was
on
that
Headspace.
yeah,
I totally
that's
understand. I watched The Creator maybe like on one of my days off, if you can call it that, when I was inside and then out, and then you got nothing to do for like a matter of time, and you know that like in a few hours you're going back in, so pop that in.
Mhm.
I'm a sucker for aesthetics, though. Give me a decent plot that's like tolerable. The only like it, so I've always been on the proponent of saying like the narrative's super important, your writing is super important, and I'm always 100% behind that, especially if like nothing else holds. However, I do have a I do have a soft spot. If your aesthetic is undeniably really cool and you have some aspect of lore, you bought me. I don't care if the story is trash, or it's why I really liked Avatar, the first one, because well, not only is it has a nostalgic level from like,
Mhm.
but the design and everything was really wonderful to me, and was really like, like everyone's like, oh, it's Pocahontas. I'm like, I can see that, but I don't care. Like, so same with the creator. Like, I really like the grit and dirty aesthetic, but at the same time, the really cool looking robots, and of course, really good actors. So they may not have had the best dialogue or the best way of or the best story, but their expressions and their delving into their characters similar, same actor for Tenant. Tenant is not the most expressive of films, but it is my favorite Nolan film ever. So
Really?
absolutely,
Really that?
I
I
will fight you on that.
I'm pretty sure it's the worst Nolan film.
Really,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. I get I
A
get
lot
the
of people feel
concept.
that way.
I get the concept of Tenet. It's basically you can watch it from beginning to end and from end to beginning. It's the same. Like I get
Is
it,
it?
but at the same time, it's very confusing. It's like I don't know, it's too much. Tenet was too much. Um,
I can understand. I give you graces for feeling that way. You're
yeah.
allowed to feel that way.
Don't tell me what I'm allowed to do.
I'm
Um,
just saying,
the
there's
the
grace.
the visuals in the creator, yes, absolutely amazing.
And
Um,
for like a really low budget, which is
yeah,
really probably one of the most impressive things, which is
yeah,
in the face, because we've grown so accustomed to like, oh, this movie was made for like 100 billion. And you're like, okay, like that doesn't mean anything anymore. Back in the day, that used to be an incredible thing because it meant there was production value and really like something visually incredible as well as that there was a lot of focus put into it. Nowadays it's like it's just a number. We hear these and we didn't make this much at the box office, no one cares.
yeah.
Like
Well,
so but
if I'm not mistaken, this movie did come out while there was the
writer strike.
SAG-AFTRA strike, but
Yeah,
they did all the movie way before the strike.
yeah.
So on
Well, I mean, it's interesting. Like, I think it'd be more impressive nowadays to be like, all right, how good of a movie can we make for the lower budget? Because if you're still making an incredible film, you'd be making much more money instead of being showing off and be like, we spent so much money and we're not even gonna make it back.
yeah, for example, what was it? Avatar, The Way of Water. I don't remember.
Hmm.
I think it came out last year, 2023. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think so. I was in
Um,
France at the time.
but yeah, that movie, I don't remember 100% how much what was the budget. I think it was like 2 billion. Again,
Mm.
I'm not 100% on the money, but I do remember they said they need to make this amount of money just to break even. And yet the first the first Avatar movie only made that amount of money. So it's like,
Yeah,
okay, so no matter what, you basically lost money over here. That's what you're saying.
absolutely. Well, here's the funny
And you're
thing. It's
bragging
like
about it.
going back to Avatar, like that was within a time when spending that much money was a call to the people to like see it,
Hmm.
especially like you had expectancy to see something new.
Yeah.
And now we have the world established, and okay, you're putting like, and all for James Cameron putting an amount of like effort into the tech to create these films and like make the transition between water and above water and fluent and that they're incredible technology, like pushed forward like many things, which was super incredible, but we as the audience aren't appreciative of that because we're jaded and um is expecting, but we're also familiar with the world. So when we go into it, everything seems normal to us. The spectacle hasn't blown us away. And
Yeah.
we've seen plenty of nature documentaries with beautiful cinematography under the water that it's not revolutionary. It's unfortunate that we're so jaded in that department, um but still yeah, of
Yeah.
course it's not going to make that much money back at all.
Obviously. I've seen the movie once and in theaters. I remember when the first one came out, I didn't see in theaters, I didn't see in 3D, and when this came out, I knew it's like, okay, the first one was amazing in 3D. I have to watch it in 3D, and I did. And I
Mm.
remember, okay, visually, this movie is absolutely amazing. Plot wise, this is a dumb fucking movie. Because and the biggest thing that, made it like came to me, it's like, okay, yes, this is 100% a dumb movie. What's the point of this movie? For example, the first movie was like, we need to get this rock because like one little rock is like several trillion million.
Unobtainium.
Exactly. On a, several trillions of dollars, like 1 kilogram of it, you know. So we need
The
to
real
get,
question is was it actually financially feasible to how much money economically economically were they spending to send all this equipment to go mine this thing and bring
and
it
then
back, and
exactly,
like how much is a trip? Like, is it actually worth it?
exactly, and like one-way trip is like 7 years or 6 years, something like that. But
I'm
no,
looking through
the
movies. Did they make another like a Murder on the Orient Express
they
and
did,
Murder in the Nile? Did they Haunting in Venice? Did I miss
yeah.
that?
Oh, you haven't seen it? Amazing.
No. Well,
I
I'm gonna watch that
I'm
because I
pretty
really
sure
like.
I'm pretty sure I sent it on the group. Um,
Really?
I'm pretty
I'm
sure.
gonna download
I'll
that.
I'll need to check. But the second Avatar movie, the plot over there was we need to kill these whales and take the liquid from their brains because this makes your life longer. Okay, cool. But wait, the general who died in the first movie, we made a clone out of him and brought his memory and revived him basically. So you're
Yeah.
telling me you people are immortal? You so why the fuck do you need to kill these whales?
Yeah, why it's
You,
like didn't you see the what was that movie series of Carbon something where basically that was the whole principle. The guy hires
mhm.
a detective to find out who killed his previous clone, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah,
was a
I've
good
seen
one
it.
until near the end.
The first season was amazing. The second season was
Yeah.
trash.
Yep.
Um, so yeah,
I enjoyed the ride nonetheless because
yeah.
aesthetics. No.
Yeah, you can't argue with that. Haunting in Venice, you haven't seen it. I have seen it. I
Okay.
think I've seen it also in theaters. I don't remember. Amazing
Mm.
movie based obviously on the book by Agatha Christie. Um, when
Props
I
to Agatha Christie.
well, yeah, I love her. She's really good when it comes to a murder mystery. I heard that her life was a murder mystery as well.
That sounds familiar.
That she was presumed dead for a while, and she like apparently lost her memory. I could be wrong over here, but she lost her memory, and everyone was looking for her, and there was a search party. Apparently, she was in that search party
Looking for herself.
looking for herself, but she lost her
It'd be
memory,
like the
so she
search
didn't
for
know.
Bobby Fischer, but the search for Agatha Christie. But
Yeah.
she is Agatha Christie. It's like Memento, but not quite.
Yeah. Again, I'm not
Spoilers.
100%. But yeah, no, Hunting in Venice, when I saw, what I love about it, it's like, okay, we are in the ride of trying to figure out who is the murderer, who is the bad guy. And it's like, me personally, I was like, got it, I know who it is. And then it's like, as you see the movie, it's like, oh, is it really who I think it? Could I be wrong? What's good?
That's
Oh
good.
my God.
I don't know.
Is
As much as this is within the realm of this podcast, I do want to see it, and I really like the previous film, so I'm
No,
gonna.
that's it. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop over here. But
Yeah.
that was what I loved about this movie. As you watch the movie, you know, as every person who's watching, you want to try to be ahead of the game because it's a murder
Mm.
mystery. So you
Yeah.
try. So you yourself like, okay, I think I got it. Okay, I got it. But then as they reveal more stuff, like I could be wrong. Am I like? They start to make you doubt yourself, and they did an
Yeah.
amazing job with that to show you like even though you think you know who it is, it might
Mhm.
not be that guy. So I
That's
absolutely
fair
loved it.
enough.
It is a movie that I
I'm excited for
enjoyed
that.
it. It is a movie that I enjoyed watching. And if you haven't watched like you, Moses, I do highly recommend it.
I'm gonna watch that very soon, if not tomorrow.
Awesome.
Some other titles that were really good that I did see, or let's just say, I'll just say, won't say really good, but that were there that I did see that we can go into. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh
We
my
got
God. Oh my God.
Rebel
Perfect.
Moon, Wish, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Gran Turismo, Meg 2, The Little Mermaid. All those were things that I saw, which I have opinions about.
Okay, so Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, amazing movie. Wish have not seen, and not gonna waste my time on that. Um, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, waste
Hmm.
of a time of a movie. Stupid,
Interesting.
stupid, stupid. A lot of people are going to hate me for this, but it's a stupid ass movie.
I wasn't. You caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting you to say that. Fair enough.
What else was on the list?
Rebel Moon, Gran Turismo, Meg 2, The Little Mermaid.
Rebel Moon couldn't finish it. Too much the slow motion. Like, slow motion. I'm jumping not even a meter. Slow
Hmm.
motion. It's
Slow
like
motion tropes got you down. Yeah, I feel
yeah, it's
you.
like too much. Little Mermaid trash. Bitches, trash, trash.
I actually honestly thought it was going to be worse. I thought it was going to be really bad. I only have one, like, there's things I have to praise about it, but the only thing, my only gripe is that like, okay, whatever, race swap. It's obvious, we get it. But is her performance really good? She's not an actress. Like, she's a singer, and that's clearly evident. Clearly, visible is what I meant to say. But I honestly thought, like, of all the things that they could have done to at least keep the character, is keep her hair super fire red, not this brown waviness. Like, keep it vibrant red like that. That those would have been so easy to do and wouldn't even look bad. But do that and mute all the colors in the background and everything, whatever. However, it was as a retelling of the Disney's version of The Little Mermaid. It wasn't bad, and I think it added some different dynamics that made the story more viable. And the one song with, I mean, music being written by um, Mr. Hamilton, Monroe,
Mhm.
Marilyn Monroe, but okay, I gotta get his name right because this is gonna kill me.
Yeah, so I didn't like the movie at all, like most people did. I heard that not one time was the actress underwater or in water.
Lin-Manuel Monroe.
Lintman.
Manuel. Oh,
Mm.
okay. Hold. Da, da, da. Yeah, Miranda. Okay, Lin Manuel Miranda. There we go. I don't know why I'm going Moreau. That's dumb. I'm so glad for the internet. You can cut it, right? We'll just cut this, and I actually sound intelligent, like I know
I
what I'm
can't I
talking.
can cut it, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I got
Just
so
leave it in
lazy
there.
with editing that I don't edit anymore. I just put
Hell yeah.
the opening theme and the closing theme, and that's it. That's all I
You
do.
know what? I respect that. I respect a man who sticks to his grit of laziness. So yeah, it's in there.
Even what I'm saying right now, I'm not gonna cut it out.
I love it. I can't wait. I hope the audience really is receptive to our organic banter.
Yeah, I used to edit, like be like, okay, let's edit, let's take off, but then it's like, why am I doing this? I look at the end result, like I only took down like 5 minutes, and I had to sit down, listen to everything from beginning to end, and all I took down is 5 minutes. That's not worth
Hmm.
it. The
I mean,
audience
that's
can
fair enough.
suffer 5 minutes.
Absolutely. However, pro editing tip for all of you guys out there. If you're like gonna do a banter like this, let's say you just really screw up, what you can do is do a huge clap in your mic and make a huge audio spike so that when you're editing, you don't actually have to listen to the whole thing. You just look where the spikes are, zoom in and around there, go click click and cut it out, and that's that. And that's that.
Yeah, but I don't give a shit.
But we don't need to do that. No, no, no.
Okay, so yeah, what do you think about
Oh,
that
did you see
list of
Gran
movies?
Turismo?
Gran Turismo, I don't think so.
Okay, really interesting. So interesting. I've been noticing weird trends, but like racing Formula One is coming back into like popularity, or at least more people are talking about it as of late, which is really interesting. However, Ford versus Ferrari was a really good movie.
Yeah,
I
I've
like a good
seen
racing
that.
movie, but Gran Turismo is also a true story, but something that's more modern where um how was it? Nissan wanted to promote and or do like something new where they set out a competition of the best, like I forget what the video game is called, but basically have the best video game driver go in and compete with other video game drivers to get a spot in a training course, and whoever would win out of that would actually go and actually compete on behalf of Nissan.
Nice.
And it's a true story, and it's amazing. It's heartthrob, like just grabs you right in the emotions, and
In the feels.
it's really amazing because again, like you just these weird situations happen that where it's the truth is sometimes stranger than fiction, and this is one of those. And you got guy from Stranger Things and Orlando Bloom. You can't ask for more.
Yeah, you can't, Orlando Bloom is a god.
Mhm. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, I liked it as a first parter, but again, usually I reserve my full opinions until part two comes out so I can understand it as a whole and how it flows and functions as a full piece. Uh, I actually went into it not knowing it was a two-parter. And so I was feeling near the end. I was like, what is going on here? And then they ended it, and I was like, oh, it's a two-parter because I was this would have been really bad.
Okay, I
Um,
knew it was a two-parter. So,
Yeah, well, see, you had something I didn't. Rebel Moon, I like the aesthetic. The story is very much Seven Samurai, or the Magnificent Seven,
mhm.
which I'm all for, but it's in the sci-fi, a little bit rushed and jumpy, and again, super hardcore female protagonist. But they're not so much a push on that so much. The story was justified in the narrative, so I was like, okay, like I can believe she's a badass and not super care. The other characters were more interesting in my opinion. My favorite was the robot that they introduced and then took out of the story. So I was like, okay, well, that's fun. I can't wait for part two. Wish I actually watched fairly recent because I had nothing else to do. Uh, I honestly think that Disney has fallen on its head because it is the morals in this story are so backwards. It's it's absolutely unbelievable. And the bad guy doesn't is too is it actually is the good guy if you were to really like break down the what's going on here.
Mhm.
And it's very strange, and I'm all for that reason of interpretation, if you will. Nonetheless, also it's interesting. It had me thrown for a loop because the main character is concerned for her grandfather, whom she calls Saba, and I had to look up different like to see if other cultures use that other than us, and apparently there are. But I was like, so she's Jewish? She's I don't get it. So that threw me for a loop.
Okay.
Yeah, go figure.
It
Guardians 3, I enjoyed. Meg 2 was just fun. If you knew what you were coming in for, it's a shark movie.
mhm.
And a Jason Statham. It's not gonna move you. But I enjoyed that. Those were some good titles.
Ooh, have you seen, okay, so I feel like I need to say why I didn't like Guardians because people are gonna shit on me. I don't give a fuck. You can shit on me all you want. It's a stupid
Yeah,
ass
yeah,
movie. The main villain, all he does is screams and yells. That's it. That's all he does.
that's true.
I'm smarter than you. How can
And
you
if you
be
know the
smarter than me?
comics,
How can you
yeah.
do that? No, I must kill
And
you.
comparatively in the comics, he's a totally actually like a formidable villain. Yeah, I can understand that.
Exactly. Like all he does is yell and all that. And they've been kind of teasing like someone is gonna die. Oh, Quill is out in space without his helmet that he usually has with him, but for some reason now he doesn't. We
Not
don't
this
know
time.
why, but now he is in space without his helmet and he is frozen to death. He is dead. Oh no, let's go
Nope.
save him. He's alive now. Like,
He's
okay.
alive.
Let's make you
Fake
guys
out.
feel. Let's make you guys feel and cry. Um, let's bring characters that you've never met, that Rocket met, his original family, and kill them off. Like, okay. So you made me connect to these characters for like half an hour and then kill them off. Okay.
Tragic backstory.
I don't care. Like,
Mm,
I felt like they were trying to do so much,
mhm.
and like the bad guy, the backstory, that this, that, and like for me, it all fell apart at some point. And it's like it's a movie.
it felt like if you're into anime, it just felt like a filler arc. Like they didn't really have much of it. Like I'm glad they showed it. It was
Yeah.
fun, but it wasn't. It didn't in the grand narrative of what is Wave 5,
Um,
Wave 4,
what?
5. Where are we
Oh, what
of
phase
Marvel
of
phase?
Marvel? We are in phase 5, but
Right. Does that fall in phase 5 or
I need
4?
I have a list.
It didn't
Saga.
really do much.
Yeah, let's see. Saga, blah 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 blah. Guardians of the Galaxy is phase 5.
There you go. It didn't actually add anything. In the end scene, I don't remember what it was. Like that's
Yeah,
how unimpactful it was. I
yeah,
didn't see the new Teenage Ninja Turtle movies. It felt like I thought they were trying to do like a Spider-Man
yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse kind of, or
I haven't seen it as well, and I heard they're releasing a sequel.
I heard some people really praise it, some people really hate it. I'll watch it for myself to determine, but it's definitely not going to be anytime soon.
Yeah.
Do you see
No,
65 with Adam Driver?
I heard about it. I didn't see it. I heard I didn't hear any good reviews. I heard it's like a man movie.
It's fun. It's not a great movie to be like, oh, gonna change your world. But like, if you know what you're getting into and if you like Adam Driver, like, it's a decent sci-fi for passing the time.
Okay.
So
Um,
if you want an
yeah.
entertaining movie to just watch, do it.
Okay. Because I'm on the list of the MCU, I
Ant-Man
so yeah. Okay, so we have Secret Invasion, the TV show.
didn't
Um,
watch.
didn't watch. I liked it until a certain point, and then it was just trash. There was so much potential over there. They
Mm.
ruined it. I'm Groot, season 2. It's not really a TV show. It's just a lot of
It's just
shorts.
mini little shorts, yeah.
Yeah, and then you have Loki season 2. Have you seen Loki season 2?
Not yet, no.
What the fuck are you doing with your life? Oh
I
my
don't know.
God.
Fighting wars?
That's not an excuse.
It's not an excuse. Are you sure? You sure?
I okay, so the when it comes to TV shows, there were two TV shows this year,
Mm,
2023, that were absolutely amazing for me. That
mm.
like, okay, these were the top, three top five best amazing TV shows of 2023, and
Yeah.
I can only give you two out of the top five. Um, so number one for me personally was The Last of Us. Absolutely amazing,
Yeah.
amazing show. It's so amazing to actually watched the entire season recently. I
Hmm.
absolutely enjoyed it. And then the other TV show was Loki season 2. I absolutely enjoyed it. Absolutely amazing. They did an absolutely amazing job over there.
I
I
love the first one. I definitely can't wait to get back into the second. I want to see the second season.
so it's even better than the first season. They did an absolutely amazing job.
All right, I'll hold you to it.
Yeah.
You've raised my expectations, so be careful if that bites you in the butt.
Oh no. So
But
yeah,
yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. We have Ant-Man, Quantumania, Shazam.
uh,
Chicken Run
trash,
2. Have you
trash.
seen that?
The Marvels also was trash. What If
Did
season
you see the
2?
Barbie film?
I've seen the Bobby film, yes.
All
Um,
right.
I
I
enjoyed
thought it
it.
was a lot of fun.
I don't think I saw it in theaters. I don't remember actually. No,
I took my
I didn't
mom on a date.
I didn't see it in theater.
I
Oh,
saw it in theaters.
you took your mom to the movies?
I was Yeah, when I just before like while I was traveling around, I went to Canada and I went down to the States and yeah, I was like the one I took my mom to see Barbie and then me and my dad went to see Oppenheimer like a few days later.
Nice.
Which was great.
So you did the Barbenheimer experience.
The Barbenheimer, yeah, for sure. But honestly, like I was looking at all the hype and I was like I try to keep well informed and like again, I'm a man who makes my own opinions and I was listening to some of these things I'm like, okay, if that's the case, then yeah, that's utter trash. And I really was super surprised at some of the condemnation towards the film because I really think a lot of people missed so much at the point, like didn't understand basic how movies work, because
Mhm.
it was like they aren't presenting this as reality. This is satire. This movie is its own critique on its own thing. Like it's totally, and even the whole like woke little 3 minute speech wasn't it, it wasn't like it was within that context. So it was just really funny for me because it was like this isn't that bad. And I mean, yeah, that was a little bit cringy, but honestly, I had a great time, and me and my mom were laughing the whole time, and it was great. So good experience for me.
Nice. I enjoyed watching the movie. I watched it at home, on my phone, not theaters, because
On your phone.
I
Yes, the
have my
personal
ways.
theater.
Look, I have my phone, I have my headphones. It's, my headphones is, the perfect soundtrack. So I have, bass and all that. So
Yeah.
I prefer to do it that way. Um, I enjoyed the movies. There was a few jokes over there that I laughed, but then at some point it's like, okay, it's kind of stupid. Um, I heard that Ryan Gosling won, what was it, the Globes or whatever for his music for I'm Just Ken. And people were like,
Got
"Don't you
pretty crazy.
understand? This is the exact premise of the movie that men overshadow women." And it's
No,
based
it's not.
and basically what happened, like, here he like there was this whole dance thing of Barbie singing, but no, Ken won it, a man won it. So it's like, oh, look, it's a fucking movie. It's like you said, it's a satire, it's a joke on itself. So I don't care. The director, I have to say, she did the latest Little Women. If you've seen,
Really?
yeah,
I've
it's
seen the 95, was it
yeah.
released? I don't know, the older ones with the young, very young Christian Bale.
Yes, so the latest Little Women, which is I think it came out what 2018, 19, I don't remember. I personally loved it. It is very different from the rest of Little Women because you actually finish the story. All the rest of Little Women, they just like, oh, and here they fell in love and that's it, the end. But in the
Mm.
books, there's a lot more afterwards. So she actually finished the story, and I personally think she did an amazing job with that movie. When it comes to
All
Barbie,
right, I did hear there was some controversy with it. I because it's yeah, she's the
the
right.
same
She's because she's the noted feminist. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
ex-
I heard about that. I totally, yeah, just
exactly.
connected some dots. Please continue.
So yeah, so when it comes to Barbie, I I don't know. I saw Little Women. I absolutely loved it. I watched it multiple times. Would have loved to see it in theaters, even though it is a chick flick. That's how you represent women, like in the perfect way possible. Then you have Barbie. Again, I understand it's a satire. Again, I understand it's a joke, but I felt it's like you're trying to represent women. You're still trying to represent women at the end of the day. Eh,
Mm.
oh, I didn't like it. Like, especially like, oh, I'm a doll. Guess what I have at the end of the movie? A vagina. Like, like,
Mm.
but you're a piece of plastic. There were parts in the movie for you know, in the Barbie world, it makes sense how everything is silly and stupid, but in the
Yeah,
real world, it isn't. But then we see Will Ferrell, and he's like acting all weird, and
there's a
Barbie
bit of disillusionment. Yeah, I understand that.
exactly, and it's
I
like,
thought it was interesting because I viewed her choice as a noble choice because
mhm,
we had been presented in the idea that this is a satire that we're supposed to glorify Barbie world, but then the real world is really harsh and whatever. But the nobility is that she chose to reject utopia and she wanted something real, which is womanhood, which was represented in that like her crossing over. I thought the way they showed that the ending in particular was a little bit like not crass, but like okay, I get it. But the fact that like we'd been this our world is the misandry and chauvinistic and but
Hmm.
she chose to be here. That was her choice, and that was like that she's the protagonist choosing reality. And I thought, hats off to you. That was beautiful.
Yeah. Mm,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
Which
so because of Barbenheimer, so let's jump to
yeah,
Oppenheimer.
it goes. Yeah.
Um, I personally think for 2023, movie of the fucking year.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
Movie of the fucking year goes to Renfield for me.
I don't think I've seen Renfield.
I'm joking, but it's a lot of fun.
Um,
I'm just kidding. Oppenheimer is an incredible piece of
wait,
art, and
Renfield is a movie or just a,
it's a movie. Yeah,
yeah?
Nicolas
Okay.
Cage plays
Oh,
Dracula, and
yeah,
his
yeah, yeah.
minion seeks therapy.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie, but I heard of it. So
It
no,
will. It just go and watch it blind, but watch it by yourself. It'll blow your way.
okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, okay, so Oppenheimer, I've seen it twice in theaters. Once I
Mm,
paid and once I didn't pay because someone paid for me. But both times I've seen it like in early viewing, like at 11 a.m. And I have to say, mm, it's a long movie. You know,
it's a long movie.
3 hours, and I think the best time to watch that kind of movie because it's not an easy movie. And by what I mean, it's not a new easy movie, it's a lot of brain work. Like from the second the movie starts until the end of the movie, there's maybe 10 minutes of silence throughout the movie. And it's a 3 hour movie. So there's not a lot of silence. And obviously, it's not all 10 minutes all at one time, it's like spread out. So not a lot of silence. They're talking a lot, and also like it's high English, it's also physics, chemistry, you know, like everything, history. There's a lot of brain work that's happening over here that by the end of the movie, both times I was like, I need to go take a nap. I started watching the movie at 11, came back home at 1. I need to sleep, man. I need a nap, you know. I enjoyed watching the movie both times. The acting, absolutely amazing. Visually, absolutely amazing. The storytelling, absolutely amazing. Um, what's his name? The main actor. God, the name just popped out of my head.
Yeah, Peaky Blinders.
Killian Murphy.
Yeah.
Killian Murphy. He did
Killian
an
Murphy.
absolutely amazing job. He killed
Mm-hmm.
it. And Robbie Downey Jr., I did not expect him to do this amazing job as well. It's like
Mm,
he as a support actor. Oh my God. Oh my God. I've never seen Robert Downey Jr. in this lighting. And I
mm,
absolutely loved it. And for me personally, yes, this is going to win Movie of the Year 2023. Cillian Murphy is going to win Best Actor
mm,
2023, and Robert Downey Jr. is going to win Best Actor and Supporter.
mm.
You know,
Also, don't forget a lot, and I was really blown away that a lot of the visuals, like the visualizations of the like atoms and also like the shaking in the background of like when the thematic elements of when things were going to be fused and or like a lot of stress was happening was all done practically,
yeah,
which it kind of caught me off guard because once again as a jaded audience I take a lot of post for granted, um, and having that kind of brought up back to like the old this was practical. I was like, that's phenomenal. This was true art. This I have some minor gripes in the terms of like I don't think the film needed to be that long. I think it was a little bit obnoxious to be that long.
hmm
I think some of the story elements could have been either trimmed neatly or let's say not like there could be a not like a few cuts in there to really
the
trim
sex
it
scenes.
down. Yeah, also that scene in particular felt a little bit sore thumbish in the terms of like it's not Game of Thrones exposition.
Hmm.
And so we didn't need this because it kind of like this arc, not arc, but like spike in like his character where it's like we don't see that again. So it seems a little bit out of character. And though it might have been there, I think it would have been better to imply because the movie didn't have any of those tones later on. Um, Nonetheless, artistically, it was phenomenal. It did feel sometimes where they push like being artsy for artsy sake, but at the same time, a lot of it served the feeling and the meta narrative, and I thought that was brilliant. And also a very complicated historical figure. It's really good to have movies like this surrounding these kinds of situations that in our history that I think it's appropriate. So on one side I'm like it could be shorter, but on the other side I'm like okay, like I think it was good to absorb this amount. But yeah, I couldn't sit in the theater for multiple viewings. Definitely once was incredible, and maybe like on a blue moon, like a home viewing. But for me, the Nolan is interesting. Like, I don't know. He's into spectacles, but he also at the same time can be really withdrawn.
Hmm.
So Interstellar for me was an incredible viewing experience.
Yeah.
I saw it IMAX and in 3D.
Nice.
I felt like an astronaut, and that blew me away.
Hmm.
And there's still theories going on about the movie even to today, which is phenomenal, and I love it. However, uh, I don't know if like I think Oppenheimer in and of itself is a open and shut case in it of itself as a movie, and I think as much as there's really cool things to point out, it doesn't go too much further than that because we're looking at history. We're not looking at a fictional story where we can try to infer our interpretations. And it's interesting just to see his style and his interpretation or adaptation of these events on screen. And I think it's worthy of these of being rewarded, if you will.
Yeah. That totally. It is, there's a lot to take in this movie, and Christopher Nolan did totally, tried to show us all, all the different sides, like his personal life and what he's going through, and what's going on with the army and the war. They he really tried to cover all angles, and I absolutely loved it. The Christopher Nolan, I know while he was filming Tenet, he was very fascinated with Oppenheimer, with the atom, with all of that, and he actually mentions Oppenheimer in the movie Tenet, if you
Mm.
remember.
Totally missed that. Do you remember which scene or more so?
The scene with I forget what his name, the guy who plays the vampire, Cedric Diggory, or
Yeah.
um, so he's walking with this Indian woman. By Indian,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
and he
Who
and
we think is the head of uh
yeah,
the secret underground at this point. Yes.
yeah. So that's over there. That's when they talk about Oppenheimer and the atom bomb. So that was kind of a Christopher Nolan giving us an Easter egg, like, hey, here's my next movie. And
Ah.
there was a moment in the movie that I felt I'm with them, because throughout the movie, as they're building the bomb, they're telling us like there is a chance if we detonate this bomb, we will destroy the world. Now, us,
Yeah.
obviously, we know you're not going to destroy the world because I'm here, I'm alive, so I know that's not going to happen. But there was a moment in the movie when Josh from Drake and Josh,
Yeah.
yeah, so he's the one who pressed the button to detonate the bomb.
Ah.
And there's a scene over there when we look at his hand and we see his hand above the button, and we hear 10, 9, 8, and for a split second he takes his hand away, and then he puts his hand back to show us like what the fuck am I about to do? I'm about to destroy the world. It's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, okay, it's just a test. And I don't know why, but that little scene stuck with me the most out of the entire movie.
Well,
And
imagine being that guy. That
ex
totally
ex
makes sense.
exactly. And that alone showed me like amazing acting, even though we just see his hand. For me, it's like you feel the weight. You feel the weight of what they are about to do, even though you know the end result, but you still feel the weight. And I totally felt it, and that alone made it even more amazing for me.
I I concur.
Mhm.
Yeah, my suspension of disbelief was totally bought. I wasn't living here in 2023 at that moment. I was there with them in that time with all possibilities of the world exploding fully potentially realized.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah,
yeah,
they did a great job.
yeah. They
And
did.
that's the thing. If the movie felt like a two-parter, there were two simultaneous stories, which was fine. And I think some of the crossover when he's doing the interview as to presenting the facts of what had happened during Project Manhattan, and then the why we see in the reverse why it was a manhunt on him by the political guy, Robert Downey Jr. For later on, the other half of the story.
Yeah,
Did find that part a little bit weaker, and I don't think it's a problem because in the end, there's a little bit of a tie off with what Albert Einstein actually said to Oppenheimer, and I thought that was fun. However, it because of the strength of the movie was within the okay, as soon as they test the bomb and it goes off, after that felt like the real climax of the film. And then after that, because there's so much time for the rest of the film, it was a bit like it was a bit of
yeah,
a drag for that part. But I totally, yeah, again, hands down, fantastic.
yeah. No, I totally get it, and I respect it. Yeah, it does. It does feel like it could be a two-parter at some point. Yeah.
I wouldn't
And
watch the second part if I knew that was going on.
exactly. So that's why it couldn't be a two-parter. Um, because okay, so like I said, I personally think this is going to be to win, the Oscar Best Movie of the Year. What do you think? Like so far, what movies do you think is gonna win Best Movie of the Year and Best Actor, Best?
I think, let's see. I mean, they had a list of what was going up. Yeah, I had that.
Let's see.
So they have acting and leading roles. The guy Bradley Cooper in Maestro, Coleman Domingo Rustin,
I started
Paul
watching
Williams.
Maestro and then I stopped because I got bored very quick.
I don't know what that's about. I saw it. Looks like another one of those pieces where it's dramatic and could potentially be a strong lead.
Hmm.
I think Killian Murphy will take it. I think Oppenheimer will probably win in all categories.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if like I'm looking American Fiction, Killers of the Flower Moon, Poor Things, movies I didn't see. Oppenheimer and Barbie were really strong. Supporting actors will probably, I don't know, really depends. Like I don't know who's judging these days in the Oscars, but still, I don't have any real opinions because in the end, like all these awards. Like the only opinions I really cared about when the Oscars were were going on was for Lord of the Rings. Not gonna lie, I'm jaded or like hands down biased for that.
I'm waiting for next year to see what the Guinness is doing.
Yeah, and same. I'll be biased. It's actually interesting. When was the first Dune released?
2021 or 22.
Two.
One or two.
Yeah.
2021 or 2022.
Did he even
Um,
make the win anything?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Actually,
Um,
the Oscars website has a chronological. You can see, you can look on
mhm.
online what's going on. Okay, 2022. Let's see.
Um, let's see. So we have Oppenheimer, and then we have the Holdovers, which I haven't seen, but I
Mm.
apparently it won 80. Okay, Oppenheimer won 213 awards. Not in the Oscars because the Oscars hasn't happened yet. Overall, that's how many awards it won. The Holdovers I personally haven't seen yet, but it won 84 awards. Barbie I have seen. We just talked about it. It won 76 awards. Poor Things. I did see the movie. Won 56 awards. And Killer
Mm.
of the Flower Moons. I also saw the movie and it won 51 awards.
Wow.
So out of the what I said, the only thing I haven't seen was the Holdovers. I'll probably watch it later. Poor Things. Have you seen the movie or no?
No, I don't recall what it's about.
I sent it in the group. It's like a Frankenstein kind of thing.
Uh,
Um, I really enjoyed the movie. I did not ex I came into the movie knowing it's kind of a Frankenstein movie with the lead actress Emma Stone. And she's kind of the monster, the Frankenstein. Um and I was like, okay, this looks very interesting. And we have William Dafoe in the movie, who's all scratched, scarred up and all that. He
uh,
his character in this movie, absolutely amazing. Absolutely loved it. And I knew that what's his name? Um Bruce Banner, the Hulk, Mark Ruffalo. I
no,
knew Mark Ruffalo is going to be in this movie, and I heard that this is one of the acting like one of his best
one of
acting
his.
ever.
I've
Best.
always liked him. He's if you've actually followed him, like he's had a very diverse acting career for sure.
So I've
Uh,
heard this is one of his most diverse. He like never takes roles like these. Like
mm,
you would never expect him playing this kind of character, and he killed it. He like whenever he showed up, he was like, this is like the best part of the movie, personally for me. I absolutely enjoyed it. He did an
ah.
amazing job. Uh,
Have you seen the movie The Lobster?
yeah, I've seen it, but I've never finished it.
Finish it, but yeah, if okay, I just looked up the director. He did that, and if it's it would be interesting for sure
Mhm.
if The Lobster is any indication of this guy's directing and storytelling career. So
Yeah.
that would be definitely interesting. I definitely would have to be in the mood for that. That would feels like it has some weight to it.
Let me just say this, and make sure you have tissues and lube next to you. And
Noted, noted.
a lot of sex. This is something I did not expect. A shit ton of sex. I
Hmm.
did not expect that at all.
Did it
Eh,
fulfill a narrative purpose?
um, yes, it did. It
Hmm.
did.
All
Be,
right, I'll
um,
be wary when I watch it because I'm not a fan of such things just for the sake of such things. If it works or is understandably within the story, then yeah, I'll go for it. But
it is understandable. Um, it is
uh,
not the most important thing, part of the book of the story, but it works. It does work. So yeah. Then you have Killers of the Flower Moon, which is based on a book, which is based on real life events, directed by Martin Scorsese. The movie
yeah,
is 3.5 hours long. I have watched it in theaters, and I fucking hated it. It
fair
was,
enough.
I feel like this movie was a huge waste of time. Um, the acting, yes, the acting is amazing. Storytelling is amazing. It was so slow. Now it's not like, oh, it was slow just for like half an hour. No, it was slow the entire 3.5 hours. It's like it felt like I was like 9 hours over there. I did fall asleep multiple times watching it. Um, not a movie I'm gonna watch again anytime soon, or planning on watching anytime soon, or would like to watch anytime soon again. Um, it is an amazing movie. I'm not gonna lie, it is an amazing movie, but it's insanely slow. It's a lot.
Yeah, I don't got time for slow movies.
Yeah.
I just gotta.
Did you saw the movie see the movie or not yet?
No, I ain't
So
got time for that.
here you go. The movie, like I said, based on a book, based on a true story, um, takes place, if I remember right, in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely don't want to watch that anymore.
so this is basically the premise of the movies. You have Native Americans, they live on their land, and they find out there's oil under their land, basically making them super fucking rich. But
Yep.
guess what? The white people want that money,
America. Yeah.
and how can they take it from them? The best way possible, legally, because now the Native Americans have their own rights. So we can't just steal it from them. We need to take it
Mm.
from them legally. How do we do that? We marry them. And after we marry them, we kill them off. But we
Wow.
kill them off to make it look as, you know, natural as possible, like that, because we are the only one alive. So whatever belonged to them now belongs to me.
Wow.
And that is basically the story of Killers of the Flower Moon, how they slowly killed everyone.
Thank you for sharing that. Now I don't have to watch that movie.
Yeah.
I thank you. Much
You
appreciated.
you're welcome. That is it is, like I said, it is an amazing movie, but for a movie to be 3.5 hours long, it's very, very slow. It's like, yeah, skip it.
Skip.
Skip.
Yep.
Um, what other movies or TV shows were there? If
That was
you remember.
I got nothing. Like I looked on what's up for nominees and all that. Nothing.
Hmm.
I've seen nothing. I've absolutely
Yeah,
no.
understandable.
This is where my side of the story ends and I fade into the background.
Okay, so what what do you in your book, what is like the best movie and best TV show and best acting? Like who do you, because like I said, the Oscars is going to happen later today. What movie do you think is going to win best movie, best
My
TV show,
thoughts
best
out of
actors?
just I got no speculation because like I don't really put my stock into celebrities and whatever like I'm not into whatever causes the biggest hype. However, it definitely looks like Oppenheimer is gonna have a nice clean walk away. And if there's any surprises, like someone else takes it who wasn't a part of the project or come from another show, that's fair enough. Maybe it would lend some credence to be like, okay, it's an interesting, maybe an interesting film. But I have yet some. There are some times where I know the Oscars have been completely wrong, and I'm not at all offended by it because again, I put no stock into it.
Okay, awesome.
And if I did, I would be a very poor man.
Okay. I said what I think about who's gonna win, and like I said, Oppenheimer. Um, and also my favorite TV show of 2023 was The Last of Us season one.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, that's more or less my verdict about everything.
And I think you are very wise in your
Okay,
predicaments and your predictions, and
shucks.
think you would have won great fortune upon it.
Thank you.
Mm.
Um, I I I, I don't know what other movies or shows there are that came out, so I think on my end that's it.
That's it from me. I don't know, man.
Okay. So, like
We'll
I
just
said,
have to do it next time.
yeah, like I said, listeners, we are back, and we're going to try to do an episode once a week. Here is what to come, what you guys can expect that we are going to talk about hopefully
Hmm.
soon. Dune Part 2, we are 100% going to talk about.
Oh
And
yeah.
don't worry, it's going to be an epic episode. I don't know if you've seen the TV show Shogun. I am in love with that show. I would love to talk
I'm
about
going
that.
to watch it.
That is a show I highly recommend you guys watch and we talk about.
Masters of Air.
Masters of the Air, we're definitely going to talk about as
Phenomenal.
well.
Can't wait. Yeah.
Amazing show. I think right now that's everything on
More
our
to
list.
come. Yeah.
But yeah, more to come. Don't worry, guys. Like I said, we're back. We're back. He's back.
I'm back, baby.
What to expect later this year? House of the Dragon season 2 is going to be released.
Ooh, that's a
Yeah.
nice surprise. I will look forward to that as well.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, later April, X-Men 97 is going to be released. That's, animated. Deadpool and Wolverine later this year is going to come out.
Yeah.
Kingdom of Planet of the Apes. I'm very, very excited for that.
I'm actually planning on doing a Planet
Marathon?
of the Apes marathon for sure.
I already did. I did the original Planet of the Apes marathon and the latest Planet of the Apes marathon. So I absolutely love this world. But yeah, more to come throughout the year, and
So get pumped, get ready,
get pumped.
because you're gonna be listening to us throughout the year. Spoilers, obviously.
Spoilers,
10,000 seasons.
Yeah.
Into
So
forever.
so we give you a little what we think about the Oscars and movies that came out throughout the year. I'm Joel, and with us Moses Moon.
That's me.
And we are Spoilers, obviously. And until then, we'll catch you guys up on the next episode. And
Go drink some water and say hello to Yamada for me.
Go drink what he said. But we are also going to be soon on YouTube. So
Ooh, YouTubes.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
You'll be able to find the podcast on YouTube very soon. Anyways,
All right.
until then,
I'm subscribing.
Until then, we'll catch you back on the next episode. Bye.
Peace out.